Three Gorges Dam, $37 billion. 1.4 million people forced to leave their homes. A wall of concrete so heavy that NASA scientists calculated it actually slowed down the rotation of our planet. But here's what nobody tells you. The reservoir holds 10 trillion gallons of water, enough to bury Manhattan under 50 meters. And there's one engineering bet the Chinese made that Western experts called insane, until it worked. What you're about to see isn't just the biggest dam ever built. It's a 17-year gamble that protects 15 million people in cities like Wuhan, Nanjing, and Shanghai, or wipes them off the map in a single afternoon if it ever fails. Stay until the end, because the part they don't show on TV is the reason this video exists. Engineers faced a problem that should have killed the project. They needed to build a 185-meter wall straight across the third most powerful river on Earth. While it was still flowing, 14,000 cubic meters of water per second. The Yangtze doesn't stop. You can't pause it. You can't dam what you're trying to dam. So they had to do something nobody had ever attempted at this scale. They had to split the river in half while it kept moving. The site was Sanduping in Hubei province. Engineers studied 15 locations before choosing it. Why? Because deep under this stretch of river was something rare, solid granite bedrock. 100 megapascals of compressive strength. Hard, stable, perfect. Except it wasn't. When crews drained the foundation pit and inspected the rock, they found cracks. Tiny fractures, but enough that water could seep through, erode the dam from below, and slowly tilt the entire structure under its own weight. So before anything else, they had to fix the planet itself. They drilled deep into the bedrock and pumped liquid cement under high pressure into every fracture. The process is called grouting. It turned a cracked foundation into one continuous slab of stone. Now the real war could begin. You cannot pour concrete in flowing water. So they did this in stages. First, they carved a diversion channel through Zhongbao Dao, a small island sitting in the middle of the riverbed. Then they built a longitudinal cofferdam out of roller-compacted concrete, sealing off half the river. On November 8, 1997, after 3 years of preparation, they closed the main channel of the Yangtze in a single afternoon. Cranes and trucks dumped rock and concrete blocks into the gap until the river had nowhere to go but the new channel. That gave them a dry construction pit, 60 meters deep, the size of a small city. And inside that pit, they would build the largest concrete wall in human history. Now picture the scale of what came next. The dam needed 28 million cubic meters of concrete, 463,000 tons of steel rebar, enough to build 63 Eiffel Towers. Ordinary construction equipment was useless. They had to invent a system. The centerpiece was a fleet of 6 Potain MD 2200 top-belt tower cranes, the largest tower cranes ever built at the time. Each could lift 60 tons. But here's the wild part. The cranes climbed with the dam. As the concrete wall rose, hydraulic jacking systems pushed each crane higher until they stood 185 meters in the air, taller than the Great Pyramid. Mounted on each crane was a telescopic conveyor arm that swung out 105 meters and shot fresh concrete directly into the pour zone. 400 cubic meters per hour, per crane. Feeding them was a 5-mile network of moving conveyor belts built by Rotec Industries, a constant river of concrete flowing from 5 separate batching plants that together produced 2,500 cubic meters every hour, day and night, for 9 years. In a single year, they placed 5.48 million cubic meters of concrete, a world record that still stands. But there was a hidden problem nobody outside the project ever talked about. Concrete this thick generates heat as it cures. A lot of heat. If the inside of a massive concrete block gets hot while the outside cools, the whole structure cracks from within. And a cracked dam is a dead dam. So Chinese engineers built one of the most sophisticated cooling systems ever attached to a construction site. They pre-cooled the concrete to 7 degrees Celsius before it was even poured, using secondary air-cooled aggregates, basically chilling the crushed rock with refrigerated air before it ever touched the cement. Then, they laid thousands of kilometers of thin water pipes inside each concrete block. As the concrete set, chilled water flowed through those pipes, drawing the heat out from the inside. Sensors monitored temperature in real time. If one block ran hot, water flow was increased. It was concrete being grown like an organism, slowly, under controlled body temperature. And it worked. But a dam this tall created a brand new problem. The Yangtze is one of China's most important shipping lanes. Block it, and you cut off trade to half the country. So they had to figure out how to lift 10,000-ton cargo ships 113 meters straight up and then back down without stopping river traffic. The first solution was massive. They carved a vertical rock groove 70 meters deep and 170 meters tall into the granite cliffs beside the dam, anchored the walls with rock bolts and reinforced concrete linings, and built 2 parallel lanes of ship locks, one going up, one going down. Each lane has 5 chambers, each one 280 meters long and 35 meters wide. A ship enters, water levels equalize, gates open, ship moves to the next chamber. Repeat 5 times. A 10,000-ton cargo ship clears the dam in about 4 hours. That's the world's largest ship lock system, and they built 2 of them, side by side. But 4 hours was still too slow for passenger vessels and smaller cargo ships. So China made the bet. They were going to build a ship elevator. A literal elevator. One that lifts a 3,000-ton vessel 113 meters straight up the side of the dam, about the height of a 40-story building. The original plan used steel cables to suspend the lift chamber. Western engineers studied it and said no. The water inside the chamber would slosh during the lift, the ship would shift weight, the cables would fail. Catastrophically. China spent over a decade trying to make it work, and finally, in 2003, they brought in the German firm Krebs and Kiefer, who proposed something completely different. A gear and rack drive system. 4 169-meter-tall reinforced concrete towers, built on a single continuous foundation slab anchored straight into the granite. Between them, suspended from 256 cables running over 128 double pulleys, hangs a steel ship chamber 132 meters long. Concrete counterweights balance the entire system. The total moving mass, chamber, water, ship, and counterweights is 34,000 tons. When it went online in 2016, it lifted ships in about 40 minutes, and it remains the largest and most powerful ship lift on Earth, 3 times bigger than the next closest competitor in Europe. Now we get to the part that bent physics. Buried inside the dam are 32 main hydroelectric generators. Each one weighs roughly 6,000 tons. Each one is driven by a Francis turbine 10 meters across, spinning at 75 revolutions per minute under a column of water pressure 80 meters high. Each generator produces 700 megawatts. The total installed capacity is 22,500 megawatts, making this the largest power station of any kind on the planet. Behind the dam sits the reservoir, 39 cubic kilometers of water, around 40 billion tons, lifted 175 meters above sea level. Water that used to sit lower in valleys, now held at the height of a 60-story building. And here's where it gets unbelievable. NASA scientist Dr. Benjamin Fong Chow ran the math. Moving that much mass that high above Earth's axis of rotation changes the planet's moment of inertia, the same physics that lets a figure skater spin slower by extending their arms. The result? When the reservoir is full, the length of Earth's day increases by 0.06 microseconds. Not noticeable, but measurable. A man-made structure literally changed how fast the planet spins. But here is what isn't in the official tour. The Three Gorges Dam was built directly on a known seismic fault zone. And it gets worse. There's a phenomenon called reservoir-induced seismicity. When you concentrate 40 billion tons of water in one place, the pressure on the rock below can actually trigger earthquakes. Since the reservoir was filled, the region has recorded thousands of small tremors. Then there's the sediment problem. The Yangtze carries around 40 million tons of silt past this point every year. Before the dam, that silt flowed downstream and fertilized farmland all the way to Shanghai. Now, most of it settles at the bottom of the reservoir. Over decades, that buildup can reduce the dam's flood control capacity, the exact thing it was built to provide. And 1.4 million people lost their homes. Entire cities, temples that were 1,300 years old, villages where families had lived for 30 generations, all of it now sitting under 175 meters of water. This is the engineering trade-off nobody likes to talk about. The dam protects 15 million people downstream from catastrophic floods, but it does so by transferring risk to fault lines, to ecosystems, to the people who used to live where the lake now sits. The Three Gorges Dam isn't just the largest dam ever built. It's the largest deliberate redistribution of mass humans have ever performed on the surface of this planet. 17 years, 40,000 workers, 28 million cubic meters of concrete, a river split in half, a bedrock sealed shut, a ship elevator that defied physics, and a planet that now spins, fractionally, slower. Whether it ends up being remembered as humanity's greatest engineering triumph or its biggest mistake will depend on the next 100 years. But the bet has already been placed, and the concrete isn't going anywhere.